The Tate's bumbling embarrassment of a lawyer, Joseph McBride, has made a fool of Tristan in court in the most sick, disturbing way possible. This could even be a new low. It has to be seen to be believed. This latest update comes from the Tates versus Jane Doe case out of Florida. Jane Doe is the American woman who the Tates are charged with trafficking in Romania. In July of 2023, the Tates filed a lawsuit against her, claiming that her, what they call false allegations, led to their arrest and preventative detention in Romania. In February of this year, Jane Doe filed a counter lawsuit against the Tates that included human trafficking related claims, defamation, among others. In October of this year, a judge dismissed all of Jane Doe's counterclaims without prejudice, except her defamation claim, which will move forward. Because these claims were dismissed without prejudice, this means that the court will allow Jane Doe to refile them as amended complaints. And this brings us to today's news, because that is exactly what Jane Doe's legal team have done. They filed an amended counterclaim with the Florida Civil Court, and the Tates have filed a motion to dismiss this amended counterclaim. Some of you may remember this post and video by the Tates lawyer Joseph McBride.
The so-called human trafficking case, it's dead. The RICO conspiracy case, dead. Allegations of fraud, coercion, emotional distress, dead. This isn't just speculation. This is a signed court order. The human trafficking case against Andrew and Tristan Tate in Florida, as of today, is dead in the water.
By filing this motion to dismiss, he has admitted to you all that he lied about this case being dead. There is one part of the Tate's motion to dismiss this counterclaim that glaringly stands out. I'll warn you that this allegation contains testimony of graphic sexual assault, so you can go to the timestamp on screen if you'd like to skip it. The allegation that is in Jane Doe's complaint is that during sex, he put his hands around her throat and started strangling her without consent, that she couldn't speak or fight him off, and she went unconscious. And that when she woke up, she found that he had ejaculated inside of her while she was unconscious. For years now, women have been saying to both the press and the police that the Tates have done exactly this to them. It's worth noting that this allegation from Jane Doe hasn't come after other women have accused the Tates of similar acts publicly. It first came in her initial statement to Romanian authorities nearly 4 years ago. With that context in mind, let's look at the depraved response to these claims from the Tate's lawyers, Joseph McBride and Thomas Maniotis. They say that Jane Doe was aware of past events and sexual encounters by the Tates where they describe rough sex, as it were, including choking of partners. They say Jane Doe has posted photos of herself clearly indicating BDSM leanings. We've seen this from the Tate's lawyers in their defense of the Bree Stern lawsuit, where they argue she's posted pictures in lingerie, therefore it is impossible she was sexually assaulted. They say that Tristan had no reason to believe this was non-consensual or off limits. Remember, we're talking about strangling someone unconscious and ejaculating inside their unconscious body. They say that Jane Doe's complaint indicates prior knowledge of Tristan Tate and what was certainly to be expected in any sexual encounter. Incredibly, they say that this is like getting into the boxing ring with Mike Tyson, wearing boxing gloves and being surprised when you get punched. What the hell was that? This reads more like a confession than a defense, literally saying she should have known that she would be violently, unconsensually sexual assaulted by Tristan Tate if she got into bed with him. We all know that the Tate brothers are degenerates, but as a lawyer, how demented would you have to be to happily type that up and have your name attached to it? The lawyers behind these degenerate, harassing lawsuits are, of course, course, Joseph McBride, the most embarrassing lawyer on earth, and the one who's not as loud but is slipping under the radar with his name attached to all of these filings, is Thomas Maniotis. Based on the views that these two men seem to be happy to portray in a professional setting, in my opinion, it is fair to say that the public should be mindful of women and young girls being allowed near these two men. If you want more context into why I feel this way, I have a full playlist of videos about the Tate versus Jane Doe case. There is so much more to it than I had time to cover in this video. If you want to see further updates in this case and how this motion to dismiss against Jane Doe's counterclaim goes, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. As for what I think will happen, it's somewhat hard to predict. Of course, it's possible that the judge will be satisfied with the alterations in at least some of these amended complaints from Doe and will allow them to move forward. I do also think it's very possible, based on what the judge said when he dismissed those claims without prejudice, that he may dismiss them again. Crown Murders listened into the hearing when this decision was made and reported that the judge was expressing that he was having a hard time wrapping his head around the fact that Jane Doe travelled to Romania willingly, among other things. If these claims are again dismissed for these reasons, be it with or without prejudice, despite what Joseph McBride will say, this will have no effect on the criminal case in Romania. There will be another update to share on the channel soon. For those that don't know, Andrew and Tristan Tate are also suing me and others, including Crown Murders and Nathan Livingston, in what I believe is a ridiculous, frivolous lawsuit. We have a big hearing in our case, scheduled for tomorrow afternoon Florida time as of the recording of this video. We will be arguing motions to dismiss, among other things. Thank you everyone who donated towards our legal defense to help us prepare for this hearing. I will be sure to let you all know how it goes.